Hello there. This is a little game called Helldivers 2. And this is a game that saved my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but not really exaggerating there. I want to tell you a story of how a video game about dropping into alien planets and spreading democracy pulled me out of one of the darkest periods of my life. And I'm going to tell it while playing because, honestly, that's where I do my best thinking. So without further ado, let's get to it. We are going to drop in here. You know, I gotta say, spent a lot of hours on this game. I am a major order diver. I go wherever the major order tells me to go. However, there's no major order right now. So, I'm a bug diver at heart. I'm a bug diver at heart. What can I say? Nothing more quintessential than a Helldiver fighting bugs. So, we're gonna get to it here. We're gonna join a random mission. Let's see, we have level 108, level 55, 118, and oh, there's some dude with no life that's level 150. God, go touch grass, bro. Alright, so going to drop in here. We got a little Blitz going on, not a problem. Let's see, we're gonna maybe bring a little 120, little Eagle strafing run. Can't go wrong with that. You know what? I'm feeling a little frisky. Let's get some Eagle napalm. And not a whole lot of anti-tank going on, so I think we're going to bring the trusty old Recoilless and bring a little sprint. Now we're gonna get down to it. When I first heard about Helldivers, I was living in a small one-bedroom apartment in Orange County, right down the street from Disneyland. My then girlfriend and I have been there about 2 years, and oh my goodness, here we go. Hunters, the bane of my existence. Oh, alright, just dropping right into the action. Classic Helldivers, man. Alright, so we're going to calling our stuff, get this going. But yeah, so my then girlfriend and I have been there about 2 years. We just moved back from Pittsburgh to be closer to family, you know, reconnect with old friends, build a community, start over. On paper, things were going exactly the way they were supposed to, but I was struggling. I'd taken a job as an employment specialist and had to take a huge pay cut to get here. And I'd be lying if I say that didn't eat at me. Oh, there's a little Bile Titan there. Just gonna let him mind his own business. Don't want any trouble there necessarily. Alright, cruising along. But, so, as you're going to find out as you continue hanging out with me on this little adventure, I have ADHD. I take medication for it, but oftentimes I get off track. So, buckle up. It's gonna be a ride. Anyway, so I had taken a huge pay cut, and that really ate at me. I was making pretty decent money out in Pittsburgh, where the cost of living is way less compared to California. Oh, a little bug breach here. Gonna get 120 going. Yeah, just chuck that right there. All I gotta do, soften things up. So yeah, I took a pay cut coming to California, so I was already setting myself up for failure. A lot of my self-worth back then was tied to how much money I brought in. I blame a lot of it on, my upbringing. I was raised, my dad was a little materialistic, wanted to be wealthy and rich and things like that. But mostly I blame society that tells men they're worth what they earn. Well, kind of everyone, but I can only speak from the male perspective. So, a few years earlier, I had been unemployed for almost 2 years, and that put me in a pretty bad depression. The worst question that I heard when I was unemployed, and I'm sure other people can resonate with this who struggled with employment, was, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do for work?" Oh man, that is such a demoral. Like, what do you do? How do you answer that? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Beautiful. Can't go wrong with the Recoilless, man. The one true love in my life. Oh, another charger here. Let's see if we can take this guy out. I don't want to shoot there. Helldivers has a nasty problem with dead enemies creating invisible walls, but it looks like our ally here just cleaned that up for us. Oh, another charger. Redeemed myself. Alright. So, yeah, I think a lot of people can struggle with being asked that question, and, you know, eventually you keep dealing with the rejection over and over. Day after day, you put job applications out there, you put feelers out there, you send out emails, and you don't get a lick back. You just get ghosted. And eventually, you know, in a way, that's saying that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy to even be a part of my time, you know? And so that eventually you start believing it, you know? You start believing that you're not worth it, that there's no point. You just give up. And then it gets even worse, and it's a vicious spiral downwards. And my ex did the best she could to try to support me, to try and empower me and help me out of my depression, but really, I didn't know what kind of help I needed. I was gone, man. Just deep into that deep hole of depression. So, man, the Talon. Those of you who play Helldivers, this sidearm that I use here is just a beast. It's basically a primary weapon. So, help out. Oh, thank you, sir. Perfect. All right. Could always use more ammo. We're just gonna, you know, help this guy out here, hold the line a little bit. Another bug breach, get another 120 going. And hopefully things don't get too crazy. Just let the fires of democracy burn the enemies of liberty. Alright. So, yeah, I went into a pretty nasty depression there. Nearly destroyed my relationship. Ended up taking a break. We agreed to take a break. And yeah, I worked on myself for a little while. Got better. Moved back to my hometown in California and decided to, you know, I started doing work in behavioral health, which is kind of where my calling is. So that helped a lot. But back then, I lost my own self-respect, and I felt like I lost the respect of the person that I loved most. Yeah, oh, thank you. So here I was technically employed, but I was burning out in California. You know, I was underpaid, underemployed. I was applying for other jobs, not really getting anywhere. And I could feel that depression starting to creep back in, that familiar weight, that voice that tells you that nothing's gonna change, man, that you're not worth it. So, fast forward a little bit. It was around January, maybe December, January, before Helldivers 2 came out. And a coworker told me about this game. I watched the gameplay trailer, and I texted this guy right after I saw the trailer. I was like, this is going to be my forever game, dude. Mark my words. I just knew. Something about it. The chaos, the humor, the camaraderie, the homage to Starship Troopers and all the ridiculousness that was that movie. And, you know, the deeper mechanics that are going to play here. Okay, I'm going to get this. Shut up. Perfect. Oh, there's hemorrhage. Alright, yeah, we're fine. Yeah. And, yeah, that's the thing I like about Helldivers, is that things can be cruising along. You can just be going through, riding the wave, chilling, and then all of a sudden things just start popping off. And, yeah, there's always some excitement going on, or there could be excitement in the drop of a hat. So, alright, here we are moving out. This is a Blitz, so I'm just gonna get back to extract, but, you know, I just knew there was something about this game. It hit me in a place that I hadn't felt since I was a kid, waiting for Halo 3 to drop, so I could play with my friends all night long. Y'all remember Halo 3? I was there for the midnight release. That was one of the last ones that I went to. I got the Legendary Edition with the Master Chief helmet, like everyone else on Earth. You remember the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 pre-order, or like Legendary Edition, where you had like the night vision goggles? That was sick. I never got those. I don't even know if they worked. But I heard that they were a little shoddy, but yeah, Curious to see if anybody has those around these days. Anyway, so I hadn't been this excited for a game in a while. And you know, games these days, you don't know if they're gonna launch in a broken state. I was real excited for Cyberpunk. I've been watching that game for years. Same studio as The Witcher. Come on, it had to be good. And boy, that game needed another year or two to cook, man. That was rough. But oh, little Napalm Barrage, love to see it. I remember when the Napalm Barrage first came out, and we all got it, and everyone was just throwing Napalm Barrage everywhere. Everyone was extra crispy for a good week. But yeah, this game just hit me in a place that I haven't felt in a really long time. And the night before launch, I had barely slept. I took the next day off of work. I woke up at 4 a.m. and it also brought me back to when I was in elementary school. Pokemon Gold and Silver came out around that time, so like early 2000s, I'd say. And I remember getting that Game Boy cartridge, smacking that into my Game Boy, and waking up at 4 a.m. and just playing for as long as I could before I had to go to school. And even then, I'd sneak my Game Boy to school a couple of times and you know, be able to play during recess and stuff. But you know, Helldivers brought me that moment of waking up at 4 a.m. to play Helldivers at launch. That brought me right back to Halo 3. Brought me right back to me as a kid playing Pokemon Gold. And so I took the next day off of work, and my friend and I logged in and played all day. We were just dropping and dropping and dropping, and nobody had any idea what we were doing back then. We were going killing bugs. I think the first planet I dropped on was Angel's Venture in this game. For all you deep Helldiver veterans out there, probably the first planet I dropped on. So it was cool. It was cool, and this game started to awaken something in me. You know, even y'all remember when the servers were getting slammed, or if for those of you who aren't as nerdy or connected to this deep dive Helldivers lore, is this game was very popular when it came out, and it overloaded the servers that the developers had cooked up, and so oh my goodness, oh dear, oh, and we're back. Okay, well. We should probably leave. That would be cool. And there's a sandstorm, and there's hunters. Yeah. As Cortana said in Halo, now would be a very good time to leave. Actually, it's not too pressing. Doesn't like a good Halo quote now and then. Alright, come on. Let's go. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, Helldivers kind of awoken. Is that awoken? Awakened? There we go. Something in me. And even when the servers were slammed and we had to wait in a queue for over an hour, you know, I was connecting with old friends, people I hadn't talked to since high school, who hopped on this game and hit them up on Discord, and we started playing again. Old friends that I've been alienated from for years. Game hadn't even started, and I was already bringing people back into my life. And I remember that first drop, 4 of us falling through the atmosphere, listening to this Helldiver theme, and no idea what we were doing, total chaos. And the team kills were all over the place, people throwing cluster munitions everywhere, and for the first time in months, maybe years, I wasn't thinking about money. I wasn't thinking about my job. I wasn't calculating whether I was enough. I was just there. I was just present, having fun. And sometimes adulthood makes you forget what that feels like. Alright, going back to base here. See what's going on. And I don't know when exactly it happened, but at some point during those first few sessions, I looked at my character on screen, the classic Helldiver armor, the regular standard issue armor that you get when you start the game. I looked at that character and I thought, I need to make this armor a reality. This needs to happen. I didn't have a want. I needed to make that armor. And it just awoke. There it goes. English. This is tough. It's tough. It's the only language I know. It had awakened something in me. And I said, yeah, we're doing this. We're making this armor. I didn't, at the time, I didn't own a 3D printer. What is happening? Are we going? We not going? We're going. We're going. Okay, that's fine. Run it back. Run it back. So yeah, I didn't own a 3D printer. I had no idea how 3D printing really worked. I had a neighbor that I was hanging out with that, you know, he had a 3D printing business, or still does, and I would just watch the 3D printer in fascination. You know, I think it's the ADHD. It just tickles it just the right way. I can watch a 3D printer go all day long. Yeah, it's like a busy little bee working. And so I would go and stare at his printers and everything like that, watch him work. And so I knew a little bit on how they worked, but I didn't know how to program it, how to design things, how to, you know, I certainly didn't have the money to go buy one. But I had a friend, one of those guys who's into every gadget under the sun, every piece of tech that you can imagine, and he had a few printers lying around. So I worked up the courage to ask him. I was like, hey man, can I use your printer to make some Helldiver armor? And I was so excited that I bought the STL files from Galactic Armory the second they released for the Helldiver. I was browsing the internet and I was like, oh, okay, this is the way. This is the plan. We're going to buy this set of files. I didn't even know what STL stood for. And so, all right, we're doing another mission here. All right, yeah, more Recoilless, 120 gas, some more Eagles. We're gonna drop down, do it again. A little Geological Survey, somewhat classic of a Helldiver adventure. Alright, dropping back in. But yeah, so I bought the files and no idea how to slice a file or set it up a print, just pure stupid excitement. It was like I was one step closer to making this need a reality. And so I asked my friend and he said yeah. And you know, I was like, hey, can I commission your 3D printer? He was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, all right, man. So we started working together, learning together. He taught me how to calibrate it, how to troubleshoot. We had, you know, some failures here or there, reprints, layer shifts, everything. But every failed print was still exciting because I was building something and I got to hang out with my friend while I was doing it, you know? And so we were working on it, and then one day after a few weeks of me coming over to use his printer, he just said, hey man, like, I feel like I'm holding you back. Like, I know you want to really progress on this. I want you to get there. Oh my god. This guy's name has jacked me off. That is the funniest name I've ever heard in my life. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, he was like, hey man, I think you could do this a lot better on your own. Like, go get at it. And he gave me his Prusum Mark III's, and I was like, holy cow! Wow, I was floored. No one had ever, you know, given me something like that before. You know, I mean, maybe family, but not a friend. Like, I knew him for like maybe a year or two, but that's the kind of person that dude is. He's just a great guy, and I was just really touched that he did something like that for me. And you know, that's kind of the person he is. He's a really nice guy. Love that dude. So there I was printing armor in every spare inch of my apartment, of our tiny 750 square foot apartment. I was sitting there printing stuff on the kitchen, you know, on the dining room table, parts drying in the kitchen counter, paint cans lined up on the windowsill. My girlfriend was patient, but I could tell the space was getting tight physically. Ah! Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta lock in for a second here. Knock out these stalkers, see where they're coming from. That looks like a stalker nest. There also could be one over there, maybe. Let's see. Hear him again. I don't have a weapon that has a stagger force, so we're just gonna have to really drop him. Second charging over there. There we go. Come on, put a shell in. There. Okay. Alright, lock it in here. Oh, bug breach. Time for a little gas. And then maybe a little napalm. And then Bam. Oh, here we go. Stalker Town. Come on. Shell. Baby stalker. Real stalker. Ah! Died. Good. Alright, let's go get that thing. There's no need to have stalkers running around the map. Alright. Yep, here we go. Might be one lying around here still. But no more shall come forth from that hold. Alright. These red guys here, you guys are jerks. Woo! Sample. Alright. So where was I? Ah, yes. Physically and emotionally tight spaces. But, you know, here's the thing. All that pressure that I was feeling on my relationship, on trying to make things work, I was feeling claustrophobic between discovering something new and exciting, something that I didn't have a creative outlet in years, and this was finally something that I could sink my teeth into. And so, it's the first time in years I genuinely felt passion about something that was truly mine. It's not our apartment. It's not, oh, wait a minute. Do I have a shot? Let's see. No. Not gonna do it. He'll come back around. Let's get him here. Come on. And, boop. There we go. I don't claim to be the best person to use the recoilless rifle, but I'm pretty good. I am pretty good with it. Lots and lots of practice. So it wasn't this thing wasn't her and mine. It was mine. It wasn't our apartment, not our plans. It was mine. I had spent so long worrying about making my relationship work, making her happy. I thought if I could just be quiet enough, that maybe that would be enough. Maybe I would be enough. That I'd be agreeable to the point to where she could have anything that she wanted. But a story for another time. The folly of my ways. Lessons learned. But I worked really hard to try and make that person happy, to try and be the best that I could be, to try and be agreeable. And I had completely forgotten to take care of myself. I was getting by on scraps of my own identity. And here it was, this 3D printer in a tiny apartment. That was the first time I chose something for myself without asking someone else for permission, you know? So I kept building, I kept sanding, I kept priming, painting, sanding, and painting all over again. Learning everything as I went, making mistakes, watching countless hours of YouTube videos, and then Comic-Con came. I've been going to San Diego Comic-Con for, geez, almost 10 years now. Ouch, my back. So, my armor was done. It was ready to go for Comic-Con. Kobe, maybe? Oh, a little too high. I'm not gonna, he's got the eruptor going. Another one? There you go. Good job. Oh, hello there. Alright. So, I had finished my armor before Comic-Con, and it was held together with glue and duct tape, man. I was hoping to get, I was like, I hope it's good enough, you know? But I loaded up all the armor pieces in the car, drove down to San Diego with a knot in my stomach, you know, and I went on a Saturday, and that was Helldiver day. And I was like, alright, is it going to be up to snuff? Or people going to think that it's going to look cheap? Was I going to just completely make an ass out of myself? And I put on the armor in the parking garage. I'll never forget this. I put the helmet on last, and I walked out into the sunlight, and I heard a little voice that goes like, that said something like, "Oh, look at that guy." And I was like, He must be talking about someone else. He's not talking about me. Depression. It's that little voice in my head. Guy's a dick. So, I walked out of the garage, and then it happened. Somebody stopped me and said, "Hey, Helldiver." I was like, "Hello, Citizen." You know, I did this cheesy character. And they asked for photos. I had 3D printed little versions of the medals that you collect in this game, and said like, "Hey, there's a new war bond out, Citizen, so be sure to use these to purchase another war bond." And it was just stupid fun, man. And I felt like the belle of the ball. I felt like the prettiest lady. And so yeah. People started losing their minds. I was losing my mind. I turned a digital character into reality. I turned the excitement of a kid into the excitement of a grown-up kid. I stood there in a parking garage in San Diego thinking, this is who I've been trying to find. This person right here. He was under all of that depression and self-doubt the entire time. And here's the part of the story that's a little harder to tell. Finding my creative drive again didn't fix everything. In some ways, it made things harder, because I realized once you start building yourself back up, you start seeing the things in your life that were keeping you small, and you can't unsee them. My relationship wasn't bad. She wasn't bad. I've been living in survival mode for so long, just trying to keep things together, to keep her from leaving. Keeping the peace. I thought that if I was just quiet enough, then maybe things would be okay. That maybe there wouldn't be conflict. I just kept avoiding the conflict no matter what, and that, you know, brings up childhood, and I could do a whole other series on that. But I was getting by on scraps of love and affection, and I had convinced myself that that was normal, that that was enough. I've used video games as an escape my whole life, from a rough childhood. Oh, let's get him. Oh yeah, and then he closed the hole. Ha! Love that when it happens. Oh man. Love that. But so I had a rough childhood. If things got bad at home, I'd plug in and disappear into a world where I had control, where I could be the hero, where things made sense. There were so many things around me that didn't make sense. And I know people judge that. It's just games. Grow up, go touch grass. But for a lot of us, games were the safest place that we had. Helldivers wasn't an escape, though. That's what made it different. It was a bridge. It connected me back to friends I lost. It gave me a creative outlet that I didn't know I needed. It reminded me that I'm allowed to be excited about things. That joy isn't something you have to earn. It's something you have to protect. The real fight was never on screen. It was inside of me. Depression telling me I didn't deserve to feel excited. Anxiety whispering that my relationship was going to end, and it would be my fault if it did. Self-worth tied to a paycheck that wasn't enough. The real enemies I learned weren't the bugs and the bots and the Illuminate. They're the thoughts that tell you that you're not enough. But you know what? In Helldivers, you don't fight alone. Sure, there are times when you have to be separated, or you get separated, like a sandstorm, as I am currently experiencing. But you drop in with 3 other people, and just like in Helldivers, I have my squad in real life as well that help me, that I might have to separate from now and then, but they're there to help me on my journey. And ultimately I realized that the community, the village that you have to support you and take care of you when you need them, it's all to teach you on how to stand up for yourself, how to walk your path forward. They might be there to help pick you up and dust you off, but ultimately they might just be there to help cheer you on the sidelines. You know, my friend who just handed me a 3D printer because that's who he is, the people I play D&D with. they want to take that shot. And even the Helldivers community, from the people in the game that I get to interact with, where I might just play one round with them, chit chat a little bit, like we're old friends, talk about democracy, and then move on to the next one. Or it's the community that I got to meet in real life at Comic-Con last year. Being able to meet people that potentially I've even played the game with at some random moment on a random Tuesday afternoon or something. It's that's one of the big reasons why I enjoy cosplay. Being able to take all of the... Oh, I missed. Dang it. I gotta sit here and try and reload this thing. Alright. Come on, come on. Get it in the tube. Ah! Die. Alright. Let's make up for it. There we go. Oh, there's another one. Alright. Fun fact for you new Helldivers players, you can cancel that animation by switching your weapon. And it'll save you a little bit of time. Whoop, right there. Yep. Alright, let's see if we can get this artillery in. But as I was saying, you know, being able to transmute and transform a digital happiness into a physical happiness. Oh, hunters. Oh, boy. There's some napalm out there. These guys. Yep. Okay. Apologies, I had to lock in. Oh, of course, classic Helldivers moment. Mounting something that you absolutely have no business mounting or need to. Ooh, sample. But seeing the look on people's faces was worth every bit of time that I spent making my first set of Helldiver armor. And I say first set because I'm actually going through and making a second set with all the skills that I've learned. You know, my Helldiver armor felt like it was shoehorned in the first time, like it was a footnote, you know, held together with glue and duct tape. I really tried to help save your life, but I didn't want to blow your brains out, dude. He bobbed when he needed to weave. Anyway, but I created that first set of armor out of a necessity, whereas the second set was out of a want of knowing that I could do it better, knowing that I have access to my whole self now that I didn't have access before, that it doesn't have to be a footnote, that I don't have to be a footnote. And not that I'm blaming anyone, you know, a lot of this was on me, of not giving myself enough self-respect. But the second set meant something to me. It's represents my independence in my new life and my ability to make choices for myself finally and look inward. And I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I wanted the second set of Helldiver armor, and you know, I'll have a link to all that in the description so you can check out a lot of my shorter content. This is more long form, just me yammering on about my journey, and you know, the purpose of this is to talk more about mental health. It's something that I do for a living, and you know, there's a lot of negativity out in the world, so I want to try and bring some shred of positivity. And I thought it poetic that the first video that I wanted to make was about a game that meant so much to me, that helped me. What? I literally just like tripped on something and broke my ankle. Like, well, hello? And that's the thing with this game, you know, is it perfect? Nah. But is it perfect for me? Yeah, it is. And it's gonna keep getting better. Sub-objective nearby. But this next set of Helldiver armor, it's representative of my time in the game, and doing this kind of content has, you know, I want to try and balance the universe. There's so much negativity out there, and I want to try and balance the equation and put some positivity back in there. Get some stims. Oh, there's gotta be grenades around here. Yep. Alright. Yeah. So that's the purpose of all this. But the second set of my armor is indicative of the amount of time that I've spent and the journey that I've gone through, the war inside of myself that I have been through to get to where I am. There's deep cuts and deep gouges and scars and bullet holes from friendly fire. And I thought that would be a nice metaphor for the journey I've been on. And, you know, I have a lot of hours in this game. So being able to find something, ooh, super samples. Find something representative to be able to encapsulate my time in the game and this journey in myself. So there's a story for me and there's a story for other people. And there's obviously a discrepancy there, and I don't think there needs to be a discrepancy. I think I have the ability to share what this means to me on the inside with the outside world, with you all. And if you stuck with me this far, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh, gonna hop the fence here. Oh, gonna do a seismic probe. Alright.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Ooh, another sample.
Rare sample acquired.
And speaking of my time in this game, I have over 1,300 hours in this game. I've been a part of every major campaign, from Malevelon Creek to Meridia, Calypso, Super Earth. I've hit them all, and you know, I haven't touched grass in a while when it comes to this game. I got all the capes to prove it too. So, and still, the same theme is that I get excited. That little kid inside of me gets excited when new content drops for this game. And like I was saying before, is this game perfect? No. Could it be better? Absolutely. But is it perfect for me? Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Alright, we're gonna gas this. Ease up a little bit of the pressure. Get our boy back. Boom. There he is. Oh, hunters. Spore charger popping up here. See what we can do about that. He's hiding. Bug's trying to flank us. Let's see what we can find here. Oh, he didn't make it. Oh, I guess that spore charger's just hanging out. It's fine. Still got a soil scan to do after this one. Oh, I hear a Bile Titan. See if we can give him a little head pat here. Boop. Done. That's what's nice about this game is, you know, it's eventually you can take down the Bile Titan if you have, you know, if you don't have the right weapon, or you know, it'll take 2 recoilless shots in order to take it down potentially, but you know, if you've put the time in and you get good with certain weapons, you eventually are able to just one-shot things, and it rewards skill in a lot of areas, which is nice. But yeah. And you know, these are the moments in Helldivers that I also enjoy. Just being able to walk around, see the scenery, and see what's around the corner. Because every map is going to be a little bit different. Here, found something. Here's some samples. I don't think people are,
Rare sample
I
acquired.
don't think anyone in this lobby necessarily needs them, but I like collecting them anyway.
Got a sample.
But it's the travel between the objectives that can be nice. Just wandering around. And then, you know, bug breach happens and you're right back in the crap of it, you know. Alright, I'm a little separated from everyone. As much as I do enjoy a lone wolf every now and then and just kind of do my own thing, you know, I like to stay somewhat near everyone just to, you know, if I can help it. Sometimes you can't. Have I been here before? I have, yes. Moving on, get the soil sample and hopefully get out of here. Alrighty, let's start to head over to the main objective, help out the peeps. Get on out of here. There we go. Orient ourselves. Oh. Alright, these guys are gonna cook. Those guys, oh my goodness, there are mines around here. Ah yes, for those astute listeners, I do play this game on PC. Been playing on PC since launch. You know, I am truly lucky to have a lot of the friends that I have. I had another friend that worked in IT, and he would accumulate computer parts over time, and so he would Frankenstein together little rigs, and so my old computer kicked the bucket pretty much right before Helldivers came out, which, you know, my computer, I built it in 2016 maybe, so I upgraded it once with a slightly newer graphics card, and you know, it was starting to show its age, and then it finally kicked the bucket and died. And so I did not have a computer. I really wanted to play Helldivers, and you know, my buddy was like, "Hey, you know, let's make a deal. Like, you know, give me a couple $100, and I got a computer lying around here." And I was like, "Shh, done." So you know, did some favors and gave him a little bit of money, and there it was, and I had a computer ready to go to start playing Helldivers. So I've been playing on PC, and I do have some mods on here. My favorite mod, obviously, is the modifying the eagle sound to make it sound like an A10 Warthog when you do a strafing run. But in general, it changes the jet flyby sound of the eagle, which whoever did that mod, credit all the props. Amazing work, amazing work. Ooh, we got a mech, a little flamethrower reaction. Very nice, very nice. Bug breach is all but contained. And we'll just put a little gas on there just to make sure they're not coming back.
Gas strike incoming.
Oh, I got no napalm. Alright, we're just smoking these guys. So as I have said before, I have a lot of hours in this game. For those of you who don't know, there is a weapon kind of progression system in the game. And so, if you have as many hours as I do, you've collected everything, you've unlocked everything, you're just waiting for the next content drop, and you're playing the game to enjoy it and to help other people. Switching from the role of the receiver to the role of the giver, as I have. And so I'm going through leveling up every gun to their max level. And, you know, I have a friend who goes, "Why are you using this gun?" Or what the heck are you using that gun for? And it's like, dude, you know, like, I'm leveling all my guns up because it gives me something to do in the game. My ADHD needs something to keep going. So I'm going through leveling up all the guns to max level. There are a ton of mines here. Luckily, they're gas mines. So even if I did step on one, wouldn't be the end of the world. Not like a incendiary mine or anti-personnel. But anyway, I digress. So one thing that this journey to level up all my weapons in this game have taught me is that, you know, each weapon in this game has its use, it has its purpose, it has its place in the game. You know, of course, in games nowadays, everyone pursues the meta. Everyone pursues the most effective tactic available, right? Of, I'm going to use this gun on this gun. And eventually it, you know, different strokes for different folks. Like, if that's what makes you enjoy the game, great. Love that for you. But me, I like to challenge myself. That is a common theme in my life, of being able to put myself to the test and put myself through the ringer. Why? I don't know. That's for me and my therapist to figure out. But sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. And so I've been able to really appreciate each weapon that has been put in the game, even from the Constitution, which is purposely supposed to be not that great of a weapon. And great, another sandstorm. But, and you know, this sandstorm can be kind of a metaphor. So back then, when this game first came out, it represented a light that to look forward to when I figured out how to fight off my demons. It was something to hold on to when the depression got really heavy and when the anxiety about my relationship kept me up at night. But now, this game represents something different. I'm the veteran now. I've switched from the role of the receiver to the role of the giver. I figured out how to fight off the demons, how to ask for help. And I've done it all. Like I said, I've unlocked everything. I'm down doing things to challenge myself, purposely using weapons that are underpowered, and mainly teaching new players new tricks, sharing gear they haven't unlocked yet, cracking jokes about democracy with strangers who feel like friends after one mission. The community gave me something to hold on to, and I needed it. Now I'm part of that community that can give to someone else. That's the cycle, right? That's what recovery looks like. You receive, you heal, and then you give back when your cup is filled. So if you're watching this and you're in the dark place, if you're in a sandstorm, the same sandstorm that I am in now, a Bile Titan staring you down, coming through the mist of the sandstorm, if you're feeling burned out, feeling stuck, wondering if anything is going to change, I want you to hear something. Sometimes the thing that saves you isn't therapy. It isn't a breakthrough moment. It isn't someone giving you a speech. Sometimes it's a coworker mentioning a video game. Sometimes it's a friend handing you a 3D printer. Sometimes it's the small, stupid, wonderful things that don't look like salvation, but are. You don't have to know what's going to save you. You just have to stay in the game long enough for it to find you. And look, the sandstorm has cleared. We can see again. We can move forward. We can hopefully extract. Helldivers got me out of my depression in ways that no one else could. It sounds silly, I know. A video game about dropping onto alien planets and fighting bugs for democracy. But it made me happy. It brought other people happiness. It reconnected me with friends. It awakened a creative drive that adult life and depression had beaten out of me. And it led to me to forge armor, to start a channel, and sit here and talk to you all right now. I am confidently a Helldiver veteran. I have 1,300 hours in this game. I've been in every campaign. I've shot a lot of Bile Titans in the face. Every cape. But honestly, I feel like my journey has just begun. One of my more favorite sci-fi series is the Dune series by Frank Herbert. And in that book, they talk about the golden path, the best possible outcome for humanity, right? And I feel like I am on my golden path now. For a long time, I was going through the motions. I was sacrificing a lot of my own happiness and my own identity for something else, for someone else. And no more. I mainly focus on me now, what makes me happy. Oh no! He was marked for death with the thermite. Maybe I could have saved his life if I would have shot him, but I didn't. I thought maybe he would live that. And let's just throw everything out there. Just scorch earth that whole area. So if any of you have made it this far, I know there is so much content out there. I know there is so many things that distract us, that can make us happy, that can make us feel something and distract us from the world at times, from this harsh, unforgiving, beautiful, kind, amazing world that we have in front of us. I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me for a little while, and I hope that some of the things that I said, and because of my ADHD, I have already forgotten a lot of what I've said. But as I say to my students, sometimes I say some somewhat important things. And so I hope this video struck a chord at some point with you. And if it did, let me know. Either throw a comment, send a carrier pigeon my way, something. Because that's why I do it. It's the little messages that I get from my students, the little comments that I get from my peers saying, hey, that was cool what you said, or that really resonated with me, or I'm going through something similar. That's what brings us all together, this shared human experience. So, I will stop yammering for now. If this meant something to you, subscribe. There's going to be a lot more coming. And if you're a Helldiver, I'll see you on the next drop.
Pelican 1 preparing to depart. Shuttle launch in 20 seconds. Budget depleted. Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.